I bought 3 of the best budget juicers under $300 and tested every single one against the Nama J2. You'd think the cheapest one performed the worst, but it's actually much closer than you'd think. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which juicer to buy without wasting a single dollar, plus a trick to get the J2 for 86 bucks up front, if it's actually worth it for you. Okay, so here's the thing. Juicers are like cars. They can look great on the outside, but it's what's underneath the hood that counts. So before you spend 200 bucks on a dud, let me show you exactly what to look for. One reason people quit juicing is because prep time takes too long. A good hopper can save you 20 minutes of chopping, but just because a cheap juicer has a hopper doesn't mean it'll save you time. In fact, on some of the machines, it actually makes the juicing process even longer. The Nama J2 hopper is 70 ounces, which helps you make about 3 cups of juice per batch. It comes with a set of blades at the bottom that do the chopping for you. The Cannoli C16 hopper is the same size, but notice the blades are different. Our Place hopper is 48 ounces, so you only get 1.5 cups of juice per batch. And the Ninja juicer doesn't have a hopper, which means you need to chop everything into tiny pieces and feed it one by one. The C16 and the Our Place juicers have serious problems with their hoppers that almost feels like it's not even worth having them. I'll show you why later when we test them. Now, you probably heard people say cheap juicers are wasteful. Well, the auger is part of what determines that. And a bad one can leave you with chunks of wet pulp, and that means you're throwing fruits and vegetables straight into the trash. The Nama J2 auger is built like a vertical corkscrew and it's heavy. The Cannoli C16 is about the same but slightly different shape and lighter. And the Our Place auger is the cheapest and lightest. The Ninja has a horizontal auger which feels like a higher quality design versus the Our Place. Will this make a huge difference in how much juice you can squeeze out? We'll find out. Now, the auger squeezes the juice out, but this strainer is what decides whether you're drinking smooth juice or something that tastes like baby food. The Nama J2 strainer is built from solid stainless steel and the juice gets pressed through these tiny holes. The Cannoli C16 is only 80% plastic with 20% strainer with huge holes on the top. The Our Place juicer is about the same, and the Ninja juicer has a strainer with smaller holes but tiny surface area. This means the Cannoli and Our Place juicer probably make pulpier juice, but how much pulpier? And is it too much? I actually measured it and it's kind of shocking, but before we test these out, there's a link in the description for each of these juicers. If you use them, it saves money, which helps support the channel, which I always appreciate. Now, for the moment of truth, I used a scale to measure out equal parts of beets, carrots, and oranges. Next, I loaded each hopper with all the ingredients. I did my best to turn each of the machines on at the same time. While the ones with the hoppers were going to work, I was feeding the Ninja as quickly as I could. The J2 finished first, then the Ninja, then the Our Place, and then the Cannoli. Now that we're done juicing, let me show you bird's eye of each hopper. The Ninja processed everything. The Cannoli C16 had tons of beets trapped in the auger and the juicing chamber, even after trying to fix it multiple times. The Our Place juicer has some unprocessed fruits on the sides, and the J2 processed everything pretty clean. Now, we're gonna do something called the squeeze test. If you squeeze the pulp and it comes out dripping wet, you can see just how inefficient a juicer can be. First up, Nama. Not a single drop, bone dry. Our Place next, sort of wet, but couldn't get any drops, which was good. The C16 definitely felt more wet than the Our Place. And with the Ninja, we got a few drops, so probably the worst. Next, I want to see how much pulp each of these left in our leaves. Here's the Ninja, the C16, the Our Place, and the J2. I put the pulp in bowls so you can look at them side by side. The C16 was the worst and it looked like a crime scene. The Our Place was the second worst. The Ninja was pretty much the same as the J2. But now for the true test. How much juice did each of these make? The Ninja gave us 532 milliliters. The Cannoli C16 was 491. The Our Place was 469. And the Nama J2 was 597. Nama came in first, Ninja second, Cannoli third, and Our Place last. Now, the Ninja is looking like the best bang for your buck, but let's run the numbers first. With the coupon code, the J2 is 540 bucks, the Cannoli C16 is 170, the Our Place is 170 at Costco, and the Ninja Never Clog is $140 on Amazon. Yes, the J2 is expensive, but why is it so expensive? What are you actually getting for that price? Well, let me show you. At 597 milliliters of juice, the J2 makes about 2.5 cups. At 491, the Cannoli only made 2 cups. Now, half a cup might not seem like a huge difference, but imagine you made that same amount of juice every day for a year. The Cannoli would give you 163 cups less than the J2. That's like pouring 163 cups of juice down the drain. With the cost of groceries, you could be wasting over 400 bucks in the first year and over 1,000 by the third. After applying the same math, the Ninja wastes about 65 cups a year, which is over hundreds wasted too. Next is pulp, and the bowls don't lie. Cannoli and Our Place juicers have so much more pulp. When reading the reviews about the cannoli, one person called it baby juice, which kind of made me laugh because it's kind of true. At first, the juice is okay, but then when you work your way to the bottom, it's got like a baby food-like texture. The J2 had the least pulp by far, and the Ninja was great too. Next is time savings. The Cannoli C16 and the Our Place both have hoppers that look similar to the J2, but just because they look the same doesn't mean they are the same. The cannoli pulp clings to the sides. The Our Place can barely handle a whole apple. Both process the fruits and vegetables much slower, and both struggle with fibrous things like celery, oranges, and even non-fibrous ones like apples. When they clog, you have to take them apart, clean them out, and then start over. If you want less clogs, you have to spend 20 minutes chopping up your fruits and vegetables into bite-sized pieces, which defeats the entire purpose of the hopper. And the Ninja doesn't have a hopper, so you're chopping everything regardless. The J2 clogs far less, it's faster, and much more convenient for batch juicing. Next up is the warranty. The Ninja and the Our Place juicers have a 1-year limited warranty. The cannoli says it's a 15-year warranty, but those shifty characters pull the fast one. If you look at the fine print, it's 15 years on the motor and only 3 months on the parts. That is such a dirty dog move because the motors on juicers rarely break. The parts are the ones that fail first. Meanwhile, the J2 has a 15-year warranty on both. And that wasn't the only shifty thing I saw from cannoli. I found reviews like this. I'm not even sure where all the 5-star reviews are coming from. It clogs, it's inefficient, and it's wasteful. For the Ninja, the reviews seemed a little bit better, but then I saw a bunch of these. Bought this in October 3rd, broke shortly after. Here's the full comparison chart. Okay, so the way I see it is you got 2 choices. Grab a budget juicer for 140 bucks, save money now, but pay more later when it comes to chopping, wasting hundreds on groceries, and broken parts. Or invest the money in the J2 now, get the yield, the convenience, and the peace of mind that comes with a 15-year warranty. That's up to you. If you decide the J2 is actually the juicer you want, but the price is still holding you back, this might help and hardly anyone talks about it. If you click the link in the description, that saves you $60 off the bat. When you hit the checkout page, there's an option for PayPal credit. Click that. PayPal gives you 6 months, no interest, and they take an extra $20 off the juicer. So you save $80 total and you pay 0 interest. Then the J2 costs $86 per month, which is less than your phone bill. And if you still can't swing it, just save your money. Don't break the bank because some guy on the internet told you to.